Hi, folks. Nick Tockert here with the Historical Fencing Guild. Um, I'm sorry for the technical difficulties we have. Apparently, if I try to start my stream without wearing a Hawaiian shirt, it will just end itself. I did not know that. Wow. So we'll just go through our spiel like it never happened, and we'll be back at it in just a moment. I need to get my banner still up. Okay, cool. Please remember that we are brought to you by the generous support of IndieCD.org. That's the Independent Creator Directory, your one-stop shop for the best and the brightest authors, musicians, creatives of all flavor. And for a nominal fee of about $40, you can join the Independent Creator Directory, but you can also, if you use this link, which I know is a little more complex, I get a bit of a kickback. I'm also not going to remind folks that in Joe Bachman's first podcast, there's a half off code. I'm not going to remind you to go to podcast 1 for that code. You know, I'm sure it's a one-word code, but I'm getting the glare of doom. Okay, I really need to stop doing that, apparently. But we did have a bit of a technical difficulty, so I'm not surprised to see my net overlord in the background. But we are back. We are rocking. I want to remind you, we're also made possible by sales of the Simple Sword, the Fighting Axe, and the Simple Spear. Part of my ongoing series of Western martial arts manuals designed to give you an intro, a survey into the glory of learning how to sword fight. So, the most important thing we have, though, of the people that make this possible, and I'll just put that down and I'll go back here, are my amazing patrons. Over on Patreon, there's a devout group of beautiful people who tolerate my absentness and overall glitchiness and help me do this. That's Often the Woods, Frog G, Ronald's Rain, Bladed Thesis, Brian K. Morris, Cindy Kep, and Steve Augusto. Without these wonderful people, I would not be able to afford to do some of the things I am doing. Thank you for your support. Anyone who wants to join, you get background access. And part of my plan is to completely revamp that in probably March. So a whole lot of new stuff will be coming to Patreon. I'm going to set up a new secret Patreon folder for resources that I've used that can be hard for other people to find. A whole bunch of other things are coming to help. So if you want to help, as little as $1 a month is what lets me afford to purchase things and keep the site up for the people that I train locally. Because one thing I do not do is charge the people that I train at my home for that training, because one of the biggest barriers towards Western martial arts training is the expense. And so I basically give my time that way. Now, we do have, Andy's gone, so things must have gone well enough. We also can be supported by, if you choose to go to, no, not that link, this link, woodenswords.com. Apparently the cat found my biscuits and gravy. Did the cat find my biscuits and gravy? No, it's okay. The cat found my biscuits and gravy. Anyway. I love Snickerdoodle. But if you go and you want to purchase anything from PHA, which is one of my favorite providers, use this link anytime you search. It's in the description. Or if you purchase things, I get a nominal kickback from them. But more importantly, when you guys traffic Christian Dorse's site over at Purple Heart Armory, I make my notoriety goes up. So that when I say, hey, would you consider making a trainer like this for short people? Or please, can you make a new batch of those youth longsword trainers? I have people who desperately want them. things like that, my voice has more weight to it. It's the only time I really uh, seek influence is so that I can get the right products to the right people. Because one thing I've found as a Western martial artist of a smaller size, that most of the equipment isn't really geared towards us or the people of extreme size. So making sure that there's at least one supplier I know where I can say, you can get this and it will work for you, is very important to me. And because it's an American company, I do try to support American companies whenever I can, but not exclusively, as we are going to get into today. Um, I have a couple things I want to discuss. So I need to go here while I'm setting this up. Because I want to bring up what is arriving Wednesday. And I'm hoping that our dear friend Johnny is in the chat, because he will likely be rather amused by it, and as will our beloved Trelena Bachman. But like all my shows, I don't check the chat till till it's time. Now, what do I have in the news? Because I do have a bit of news to discuss. I have been looking for a couple items for a long time. Now, we'll start with what's coming, and then what I'm in the works with. Right now, for those of you who don't know, I've dealt and trained in a lot of different weapons. Some fairly obscure, some insanely well known. And there are trainers that are sort of my holy grail. They're trainers I am seeking. I still want somebody to make a neck knife trainer. I've yet to see anyone do it. None of the companies, please. A wearable neck knife trainer in like bright orange, so that the people who wear neck knives can train with deployment and use them, for those of you who use them for defense. I also, and this is going to call back to the Wayback Machine, because in the very early days of Nick Learning Sword, I studied from the books I could find, and one of them was a book on Iaido, the art of drawing and sheathing a rapier. Sorry, a katana. Now, again, self-taught from just a book has massive limitations. That's what part of why this channel exists, to offset that for the things I do. And I used to do it a lot, many, many, many moons ago. I also am rather notorious for, among the styles I fight, I have been known to fight sword and stick as a simulation of sword and sheath, both in traditional rapier techniques and more katana-based techniques. Why should you care? Well, in the past, I did purchase a polypropylene katana for the purpose of training that came with a saya, a sheath. However, the sheath was made of vacuum-formed plastic, essentially, that was plastic welded to form, and it was hollow. So it's dang not near wibbly. It will keep your form much better than, trying to draw without a sheath, but it's not right. And this has bothered me for a very, very long time. Now, when things bother me for a very, very long time, I have the oddest habit of actually move tab to the window. That, and we'll go here, of acquiring something to offset that when I find the means. And what I have actually coming in is one of these. Why is it? That's odd. There we go. I am having some technical difficulties, and I'm not sure why. But now let me move this. I got it, of course, on sale. The interesting bit about this is that appears to be I'm trying to find the good sheath videos, but a much better sheath. So if if I can draw it and use that, I could do some techniques that I have not been able to do for a very long time. Now, I went with the brown blade instead of the black blade to make it easier for my students to track, and I kind of have this thing about brown being one of my favorite colors. Because usually my favorite colors are brown and orange, if you don't allow me tweed as a color. But that should be enough sheath to allow me to possibly even use it defensively. And I want to know. So this has been ordered, and we will see how good it is when it comes in Wednesday. So I should have it for the next episode. I'm very excited about this. I got it because it was on a quarter off. I had well, 23% off. But it meant that, here we go. It meant that I could have access to a katana with a sheath that should handle like a sheath instead of a wibbly piece of plastic thing. And if that works, I will be able to revisit some old techniques because right now I'm looking at what I need to do to further my personal development. And right now I need slow, fluid motion, very Tai Chi approach. And that will overlap nicely, or, probably mirroring Aikido more than Tai Chi, with a Boken or a Katana trainer like this. So my Iaido fuzziness can come out and I can train in that. I'm looking forward to reviewing it because if it is good, it's something I could recommend as a mid-range trainer for a lot of people. Because right now, my definition of a good trainer, like a superior trainer to recommend, is it's either a nylon or polypropylene trainer. So I'm leaning toward the polypropylene unless flex is required. I'm looking for a price that is sub $50 on the, optimum, and sub 100 roughly as a primary case, simply because the finances that most people have right now are so tight. Now, once you get to the point where you can throw relatively how much money you want at trainers or equipment, then your world blossoms into there's lots of wonderful places you can go. The Penty line from Purple Heart Armory. You can order from South Coast / Black Fencer. You can get some truly beautiful and exotic trainers. But for the lower cost side, I am always looking for new options because I cater to the people at the beginning of their martial arts journey and those who come back around to keep abreast of the basics. And by going through something like that, we can ensure that there's a continual group of new people coming up who can be taught by the older people, because the best way to truly learn and understand is to take what you know and instruct others in it. When you've reached a level of competency, mastery is defined as being able to pass those skills on. Okay? And that's what I want for you. I want you guys to achieve mastery and pass those down in a safe and reasonable manner. So that is one of the announcements, that is indeed coming next week. I'm sure right now, Johnny, if he's in the chat, is having an absolute heyday. And like I said, I'm sure Trelena is thinking of a very specific word and an old nickname for me from the long, dark, hoary days of the soul. But I'm going to go through your chat for a bit, and then after that, I will go on to the second portion of what I wanted to discuss this week. Now, it's Foxy says I'm first-ish this time. Well, Foxy, I'm glad. Foxy. Oh, 1 second. Sorry about that. Cindy said she's first this time. I believe Foxy was first last time. And I really am glad to see Cindy. Great martial artist. And we're joined by Trelana. Hey, Trey. How are you doing? And yeah, we're going to have fun today, Trey. Cindy saying howdy. And if you need to find Nick's books, go here, amazon.com/store/Mr. Nicholas Anthony Tucker II /author B072P26PF3. And I'm the lovely Miss Saren. I saw that you sent me a bunch of posts, but I was fighting technical issues to try to get the previous stream set up. As you can see, I failed for that. But I look forward to it because Miss Saren and I are, well, Miss Saren's working on a project that's just incredible in that she may be doing, well, she's at least attempting a audiobook version of Haints and Hellfire Volume 1, whilst I am plugging away on Haints and Hellfire Volume 2, and then game design, my brain is fried from that, and weapons manual, and my brain is fried from that. I keep a rotation. I use my ADHD against itself. But yes, I'm so glad to see you, dear. And the stream rebelled at the lack of Hawaiian shirt. Yes, apparently my branding is so important the stream won't allow me to stream without a Hawaiian shirt. And I decided that but during the re-update thing. And Manda found great joy in the fact that I was marching across the house to get a Hawaiian shirt. There was a spill. It was a scenario. These things happen. Cindy says, then go catch up his artwork on at deviantart.com/Nick T. Yes, please. And Trelana is greeting Miss Saren. And don't mind the man behind the curtain, but was coming to check on the stream. Much appreciated. Hey, Trey, back again. Thesis is back. Back again. Hey, Thesis. Hey, Trey. Woo! All fixed. And support Nick's efforts to help others be safely dangerous. Patreon.com/The Historical Fencing Guild. Yes, please. Any support you can give me will be much appreciated because it instantly gets passed on to others. And hey, Foxy. And check out the Historical Fencing Guild tonight at 7 p.m., which is an hour ago, but sort of isn't, right here. It's that show. It's a thing. And find all of Nick's works quickly and easily at IndieCD.org/about Nicholas Tucker. In fact, once the book link list is set up, it may be easier to find my books through IndieCD.org than it is through actually searching on Amazon, because I am not a paid ad. I don't pay for advertising on Amazon due to my delightful fun situation. So we will have to see. But so going through my IndieCD site actually gets you direct links. And check out the Historical Fencing Guild every night, 7 p.m. right here at this channel. And also, this pizza tastes amazing tonight. I am so delighted. Background axes. I mean, I'm sure I have axes somewhere in the background. I'm not quite sure why you mentioned that. And I realize I'm looking around with my up-close glasses, so I can barely see the back of the room. And Joe says you can also find all of Cindy's works quickly and easily by going to IndieCD.org about Cindy Cat. And I'm around because I look funny with corners, don't we all? Unless they're all edgy, but Johnny. And so Johnny gets corners and get cool weaponry. Foo at woodenswords.com/? Click equals 1745, and IndieCD.org is handy to find creative people. Mall Ninja says hello, and if you don't understand that reference, go back and watch my stream from last Saturday. I think everyone goes through a Mall Ninja phase, and I don't want to get too far into it, but because I don't want to blow his video. And very off topic. It takes a crazy amount of scrap cloth to stuff the body and tail of a library dragon. That's delightful. That is so delightful. Ooh, biscuits ready. Johnny says, "What did I do? You know what you did. You know what you did." Mm-hmm. We've been summoned, Johnny. Indeed. Hiya, Johnny. Hiya, Saren. And not quite ready to pale yet. Okay. We just had a massive comment dump. Either a whole lot of weirdness is going on my internet, or something's a little hinky on StreamYard. But we'll see. Hiya, Foxy. Should we fear the reason, Trey? Yes. That's always a problem for me. Oh, the pizza. Yes, better than Bert. Cupcake, Foxy. Oh, I'm so pale. Yes, but means you're less likely to age. It's probably chaotic fun and learning, so nah. Same, Foxy. I almost got glow in the dark. You're translucent. My mother does. I'm curious about our beloved Swordmaster's opinion on the spear trainer I shared earlier this week. That's on the caveat to talk about. And very Johnny, mind the caveat on the docket. Sorry. And yet they have such trouble getting my blood out. It's not like they can't see the veins. Oh, that looks like a pretty solid trainer. And that's what I'm saying. If they took time to reinforce the sheath, that speaks to the overall possible craftsmanship. And like I said, I've been looking for one that I can actually get a decent draw from. And I am encouraging, indeed begging, Western martial arts trainers to make quality sheaths, and that can be rigged and worn properly for your synthetic trainers. New toys. And also relatable, my current record for times they had to stick a needle in me before they actually found a vein is 13. Hold on. Hey, babe, what's your current record for times they've had to poke you to find a vein? 16 to get the blood test to get the marriage license. And Nick, people say you don't love me. Yes, I know you love me, dear. That, or you were just eager enough to possess me permanently that you went to it. Anyway, Nick wanting to try hitting Mitsurugi. No. I mean, maybe the style that Kamiya Kenshin school, but no, I would never try hitting Mitsurugi. Who doesn't want a 30-foot vertical? It has to be my version of Gimpin Mitsurugi, where there's no jumps because I can't. But we'll see. Let's see. They once had to go up my arm because arms okay, just not working. It happens. Those sound like very incompetent penetration attempts, Saren. I don't want to have to throw a not the green room at you wonderful folks. Only sour grapes people try. Oh, who wouldn't? Yeah, I mean, who doesn't? The getting up is good, but I do worry about the landing more than the launch. I feel bad for my mom, though. She was recently in the hospital and they had to go in her leg to get an IV line. That happens. I just try to get them to use my hand, easiest by far. And hello, Johnny. I'm sure Vampire would find it easier. Yeah, Johnny, help the world and get vamps to draw blood who do it better. Now, ooh, that went black, and I didn't have any internet problems. Okay, we will deal with that. The phlebotomists where I go to the doctor are wonderful, and they're very good at dealing with me. And I know I have to pay the blood tax to feed the vampires whenever I go to the doctor, because there's always something they want to see if is kicking around in my blood. I think they're tracking my mitochondrion numbers. And let's see. Probably my veins are so 3D a paper cut would likely bleed me to death. Oh, you poor thing. Got pretty good veins as well. Everybody's talking in the same vein. Foxy and Cindy are the same person. I wish I could say that explains a lot, but just no, I already have done a 3-hour stream today, and I did a 5-hour Wednesday, so I'm a little cooked. Trelana says, if I can get under a blanket a bit before they need to draw, I'm usually good. I see. You have slightly less allergies. Hey, the project was my idea. Now clap. Oh. And you did wonderful. It's a great idea, Johnny, and I'm really happy she's going to be involved in it. Of course, because of that, she's got a good idea who my fan casting of the characters were, because we had to talk about how the voices work, and I'm looking forward to the messages. But it's good. It's just samples of the voices to make sure I'm finding in the right direction. I couldn't find all my references. At least not for free. I would say buying the movie A Dark and Stormy Night came out in 2009. If you like parody, comedy, horror, it's a delightful film. But I'm still looking. I will try to get a hold of you. Do I want more pizza or not? We always want more pizza. I don't know if it's a good idea. I always want more pizza. Dang, now I want pizza. Foxy says, I've already eaten half of it. But now, sounds like the real question is, do you feel like you should have more? Wanting pizza is just a given. Indeed. Fernley says, I love seeing everyone collaborating and finishing long-term projects. It's really cool. And steak, mushrooms, and black olives. That's an interesting pizza. I like that he had to check. Like at any moment, there could be an axe floating just behind him. Have you watched this program? At any moment, there could. Background access. I see. Well, that too. Well, if I was Nick, I would check too. I mean, if anyone were going to get haunted by a ghost axe, it would be Nick. You're not wrong. Unfortunately, it was discovered where if you want to test if a place is spookified, just walk Nick in. Apparently the dead find me very attractive. The world took the day to call me out, it seems. I'll fight forward. Dang. She wins or loses as a matter of perspective. My banner response is just crud. Let me try something, because I showed you this. If I zap that, let's see if Amazon is the problem. Yep. Superhero landings are bad for the joints. Face plants are worse. And just landing straight and having your legs go are even more terrible. But they do look good. I do wonder how many vampires go into phlebotomy. Many. Most landings aren't too good for the joints. And midichlorian or mitochondrion? Yes, midichlorian. Yes, Captain Dyslexia is running rampant today. It has just been the kind of day where things aren't quite what they should be. So we're making it go as it is. And I had one more piece. I was hungry. Well, you won't catch any issue with having a proper amount of food. And Amazon is frequently a problem. Yes, it is. However, I get to fandangle about some other things that are going on, and it will be even more challenging. So give me just a second. I'm going to do this. And I'm going to go here. 1 second. Move down to new window. And I bet nope, it's still there. Move that to the other monitor. Excellent. Now, I stumbled across this lovely set of images in one of the sword groups, and this is from a Vietnamese group that is doing historical Western martial arts. Now, this is one of the most beautiful, joyful images I have seen in a long, long time, because these lovely people have been forced to make their own trainers due to some creative input laws. And as you can see, let me see, can I zoom in? I can't zoom in on that. There are additional pictures. They are beautiful, and look at that cup hilt trainer. Now, you notice that I said, is there any way to order one of these from you? It is a work of beauty. And there's 4 replies. But depending on their cost, I will be trying to order one of these for me, both to review and to just have, because good Lord Almighty, is that a beautiful weapon. The cup hilt. I mean, yes, it's just, oh, friends. So, I want you guys to know I'm catering to all audiences here. And I desperately want to see that in my hand. Look at this beautiful, beautiful trainer. Now, I personally would love to be able to have access to the kind of plastic. I've been trying to figure out the exact kind to simply make my own of the slightly more formal style, because these are beautiful, beautiful trainers. And what I like is they went to some great lengths in this kind of prototype to reinforce the point. Technically, it's the unsharpened part of the blade, so that could be called the ricasso, even though it's really not. In the case of a cup hilt, the ricasso is behind the guard. But yes, I am absolutely lustful for this. And is this Nick's sword? Yeah, duh. And I thought you guys would like to see that. So I am going to talk to them and see if I can't order that at, I imagine that they will be a more reasonable price than South Coast Swords / Black Fencer. And if they're not, I would still rather support a small startup company, even one in Vietnam, over the big guys. It's just who I am. I'm about independent small business. And I did tell them I want to review their stuff. And says, looks like they fit a keyhole in there too. I'd love to see where the point of balance is. You and me both. But I'm looking at, because I'm pretty good with the weight of most plastics. It will be a little choppier, most likely, than we like. But looking at that pommel and understanding that pommel is mounted onto probably a full tang of the plastic, that could be very, very nice. And Thesis says, one of these days I'm going to do a stream and just call it that. Thesis is sword corn. Spend the hour drooling over all the different weapons I would love to own if I had unlimited funds. Absolutely. And snazzy bladed thingy. Again, absolutely. Because, I've been... I want to show some of their other trainers too, because they have made these. They've made their own steel trainers, and I'm assuming they used a spring steel of some sort, and it looks like they had a wrapping for their longsword. I'm not sure on that blade acquisition, but that is a truly beautiful synthetic. And as soon as I know their pricing, oh no. Oh no. See, let me explain something to you, dear friends. I do not like messers because they resemble katanas and can be fought similar. I like katanas because they resemble messers and can be fought similar. And every part of my black little heart is looking at that great messer trainer, and just I'm really going to annoy Johnny, but every bit of my Vampire Hunter D loving soul wants to get my mitts on that sword because, good Lord, my only concern is the metal collar. That extends really high up, and I'm wondering if that's going to beat up blades. But the only way I'll know is by handling the dang thing. It's just a beautiful bit of weaponry. And there's another version with a ring guard and a katana that they have made that looks just exquisite because the way they're making it, they can have proper wrapping. And I don't know what this type of weapon is, but I love them. I've seen them before. I think it's actually Vietnamese or Thai, but I love this weapon design. It's sort of like a Dao, but not. It's interesting, and there's a fluidity to it that speaks to me. Perhaps Thesis can speak towards other terms for looking for that weapon, and of course, long swords, because we love long swords. Now, this interests me more than it probably should, because that looks a little more Nick scale to comfortable. And I'm very impressed with this group and what they're doing and how they're making their own gear. And side sword. Anyway. Yes, this is beautiful. But I want to find out about their pricing so I can share it with you guys. Because wow. Let me go through the comments. Very nice. Worst part is of mine would be LK Chen, because the man makes some of the most beautiful blades I've ever seen and does extensive research on specs. LK Chen stuff is phenomenal, especially for the more refined viewer. My problem is the many of the exact Western weapons I am interested in, people don't make because many times they have complex hilts. But I wanted to go over that and just show you some of the wonderful things that are going on in that world. And I'll set up for PHA. So, bam. That way I can get there if it works. Yes. No, we'll see. Yes. So we'll check that out a bit. An easy laid back show while we go through setup for I have a lot on my menu. Oh. And we're joined by Michael T. High Desert Comics. Hello. Oh, sorry. Let me fix that again. There is a forge in Washington, Promethean Knives. I've heard of them. Run by a man named Salem. He was on Forge and Fire. That's where I heard of him. Made a gorgeous two-handed Damascus Khopesh. If I had the cash, I would commission him for myself. Absolutely. There is a company in Texas called Boss Blades. And they have been working towards several really impressive feats that I'm not sure if I'm allowed to talk about, but it involves metallurgists. Sorry, my speech impediment has a hold of me right now. Metallurgists possibly rediscovering something in our field that has been lost to the ages by accident. And they make amazing, amazing blades. Now, most of their stuff is currently rigged and geared towards larger people, larger hands. And they have someone who is involved in doing some blade work with them, who actually we all know, at least long-term folks here, Steve Clausen. He's done videos demonstrating just how formidable some of these weapons are. And It is something I'm really tempted to say. I would like you to make me something like this, but functional. Being my favorite little sword ever, which is back there, but it's under a pile of things. It is a colonial Spanish. Technically, it's considered a colonial Spanish broadsword. It's gone by a lot of different names, and unfortunately, they are known as Bilbos or Bilbaos because they were made famously in the city of Bilbao, Spain. The problem with that is Lord of the Rings. Not that I would mind a sting sword either in steel. I certainly would not. I'm quite fond of my trainer, but it's something that needs to be considered. And some person who pops it, wait, okay, hold on. Looks like a Dow. Yeah, see, looks like a Dow, but the handle is longer than I would expect. Maybe a Thai or Korean design. That's what I was thinking. It looks like there's a Thai sword, and I can't remember its name. Oh, it's not long enough to be. Give me a second. Let me see. No, World Martial Arts. Maybe it's Filipino. I know. Okay, you know what we're gonna do? We're just gonna go Hemagear. Nope, not Hemagear. Cutting. Basic trainers. There we go. Um, I it might be, and I'm going to scroll to find it as. Oh, there are some new things here. Shoot, I'm gonna have to go back through this later. But if I can find the weapon, I will bring it up to what I think it might be. And I can't. It's the sword that I want him to put a disc guard on and make a Nagamaki out of it. I just have to find the dang. Here we go. It could be something like. No, it's not. The curve is all wrong. Shoot. It's not what I was thinking it was. But we'll get into that later. And let's see. Some person would say, and hi, some person, where would one find a wizard to imbue the forces of nature into the sword? They are identifiable. They exist. You just have to know the right people. It could be very, very expensive and if not being paid in gold, but it could be done. Well, let's see. I'm sorry, bye. Come on. Are you going to change now? Nope. Being cranky. Okay. The sharing is blocking my ability to go through the chat. Wow, I've had this problem. And no. Okay, we're back. I don't know how long I may have been gone, but take a look at Nick's books, The Simple Sword, The Simple Spear, and The Fighting Axe. Amazon.com/store/Mr. Nicholas Anthony Talker. Author that's B07P26PSF3. And I'm slowly memorizing that from backwards. And she says, go down to the corner of the lot near the river and look for the cat with heterochromia. Show the cat 2 coins and he'll lead you on. And Foxy says, okay, one more slice was a mistake. I have mild regrets. My condolences. And some person says, Hybrid's double feature. Yes, over at Fund My Comic. You still should be able to acquire that. An amazing RPG I designed and Luke for Luke Stone's universe. It's really a great concept. And at City, I see. Thank you, fellow adventurer. The name of the person sharing it is definitely Thai, so maybe that's a clue. Alrighty. Really? Okay. Because the swords come from a Vietnamese HEMA school in Ho Chi Minh City. And here, take this, magic taco. Thanks. I love that there's a role play. Not a tie-da because they don't have guards. I've seen it though, and it's a beautiful weapon. But we've talked swords. I was going to do a walkthrough on the PHA sword site, but it seems like my internet is being rather unstable. It's probably annoyed with how much streaming I have done. I also have I have to fix something through StreamYard, but I think I know the one, but I don't know the name. It's okay. It's okay. We'll figure it out. But I want to know what are the weapon styles you guys want me to focus on? What are the holy grails you're looking for? So that I can tailor my researching and my writing to match what you need. It's okay. You have no idea, no problem. Because as I progress with everything that's going on, including the in the off chance anyone who's watching this is anywhere near West Central Indiana, I want to remind folks that I will be at the Indie Creator Con in Fowler, Indiana, February 24th and keep wanting to say on 25th. It's a one-day con, Nick. It's a one-day con from 10 till 10 because I'm actually the showrunner. My wife and I are running that program. There'll be roughly 10 authors, artists, and other creatives there selling our works. And if you want to come down, please do so. And we can meet up and we can talk shop, have a great time. And I hope to see you guys there if you can make it. If not, we'll probably do a stream from there if the net will hold. It looks, you write the names, you're right, the names are Vietnamese, and it looks like a Guam. Oh, yes, the Spirit Trainer. I'm sorry. It's interesting. It's interesting because I'm trying to think if I dare. Let me try something real quick. I'm trying to figure out if I dare share that, and I don't trust. Let me see. Better than sword. Now, where did you share that? Did you share that to the public group, or did you send that to me directly? Because Thesis has been very, very active on the public group. No, that you didn't share that. Oh, okay. I'm trying to find the image of it to show people, and that's nothing to worry about. Okay. It's not going to come up right. I'm sorry. We're having a bit of technical difficulties. Public group, I think. I thought I saw it, but it's not coming up now. So I'm on the public group, and it would be a much newer thing because I've gone all the way back to December. Let me I'm double checking to see if it didn't load right. Sorry, as I was scrolling through, I found some off-topic videos that don't belong here. Yeah, it is not coming up there, so let me see if it was on the private group. Nope, I can't find it. Anyway, basically, what he shared. Oh, personal page. Okay, we could do that too. Search Lee And okay. Yeah, it was on your personal page. So let me close this. Okay, that I recognize the font, so that's from Medieval Collectibles. And yes, I can tell the sites by the font now. And let's grab this. We'll share that. And here we go. Okay. This first off, this is very stylish. It is a very pretty spearhead. I got it. I got it all set up. Um, thank you. And that way people can find it in the public group. But I have some real concerns about this. So give me just a moment. Move tab to new window. Yes. Move that there. I have to cross. First concern is that the edge profile is not at all forgiving. That means it's going to be very sharp. I would be hesitant. No, I don't want to keep in touch. Just stop. To use that in sparring, perhaps in forms, perhaps in a film or background. But what I see is that's sharp. The supports, and now it's not going to stop zooming. Sorry, Cindy. But the supports that cross out like this to hold the moon-shaped blade out are kind of flimsy. That's a lot of pressure to put on that. And the threading haft is a little minimal. I mean, that's a lot of leverage to only be putting on what looks like an inch of threading. And it works with this pole. So let's find out how much the pole is. Okay. The pole for this that apparently comes with that there are different okay, it's part of a new system. Okay, that's interesting. It's expensive. It's $179. So that you're looking at a nearly 250, 275 likely minimum with shipping. That's a major investment to throw money at. And yes, 179 for a stick. Now I assume it is a polypropylene steer, has a rigid spear butt, screws into spearhead. Now I would be interested. Oh, broken down. That means okay, it's an aluminum body and it breaks down in half. I would have some real quality concerns. As I said, my post it, you could almost find a live steel version. You can. Oh, I didn't know you can't. Why can't you DM me on Twitter? If you don't have DMs, I understand, but mine should be open. But I did reply to your stream announcement with a decent pic of that Kopesh. Okay. So that would be. Let me back out because I'm about to check my Twitter, and I don't want to say that I don't trust my feed to be fully appropriate for this channel, but let's be honest, it's Twitter. And let's see. I am not seeing your reply. Ah, well, here it is. How am I going to do? Let me click there. And I'll show you guys this. So here we have the Kopesh. There is a very nice plastic Kopesh too. And yeah, I haven't got anybody blocked on Twitter. I will try to make sure of that. That's very strange. So I'm sorry about that, Michael T. Anywhere you have a removable joint will be squirrely. Exactly. which is tragic because it's a great concept if they had made it of sterner stuff. And I've been seriously looking into doing more spear stuff. So a decent trainer would be nice, but I suppose I can just use steel because it's the first one that's the first one I've seen in its style. And this is Twitter itself is strange. It's probably a technical difficulty because Twitter is fairly unreliable, but no biggie, all good. Just look at it, Chad. Chat, look at it. Yeah, it is a beautiful, beautiful weapon. And I did see on Amazon. See, now things have stabilized. So now I'm going to check again. Let's see if I can do this. Where they're selling Kopesh trainers. And I believe if I go through PHA. Now that looks like a Skullgrim video, but that's okay. We're gonna go basic trainers. I'm sorry, I don't believe a sword or trainer should ever cost more than my there's a shuttle, which is close, than my first car. But I can neither confirm nor deny that some of these some of the swords out there absolutely do. And I'll be honest, I don't think it's worth it. But where was I was sure he had a Kopesh. Because I would prefer to route you to this guy instead of the Amazon dealers, just because I know it's not as pretty, but it's very, very sturdy. And I've beaten and abused a Zanzibar. The mystery sword. Now, if you put a discard on it, you might have the one. Like I said, I thought it looks Filipino. But okay, that's almost. Again, it's very close to being a Kopesh, but it's a Spara, which is in the same family. I want to see if he's done that. There it is. Wow. Okay. Not only is that a really nice little trainer, it's only $25. So, if you can get it, I would definitely reach out to him and ask to be emailed when it's back in stock, and possibly can I direct commission you to make me one of these? Just because PHA's stuff is that good. I'm going to go back, since we are here, and check the new and upcoming to see if there are any sales. There were some smaller women's jackets that were for sale, but they keep selling out rather quickly. Ooh, a full set of spec plates. What size is that? Oh, it's a ladies. It's a women's, but it doesn't say the size. That's really cool, though. No. Oh, that's for Bohurt. Okay. 200 for sword for Bohurt, which means you're going to be using dull steel and hammering on people, is something you want to throw money at. Now, this is cool. If you are a Kopesh nut, and I believe in helping people find what they like, this, as an award sword, would be elegant. It's just not going to let me zoom in on it. That's really cool, though. And that is a fair price. Actually, that's a good price for a large 15-inch Leatherface buckler, slightly damaged, good discount. That would be tempting if I were in that menu. This is really cool. If you're a Meyer guy, it's a bandana for $4. But if my buddy Richie were here, ooh, specful, ooh, extra small. Darn it! Just when I get excited. Okay. So nothing earth-shattering, but some cool stuff. and we go basic trainers. A lot of times he has new things that are hard to see. And eBay says there's a live steel spear for less than just the pole. Oh, yes, you can get live steel spears. If you're going to train in spear, however, I really would recommend keep your world simple. Get yourself, unless you need an ornate spear that's, like that hook one, get yourself a chunk of rattan in that length. Have it shaved down or shave it down to the grip that feels right for you and train with that. Either rattan or a fiberglass pole, which is what the heavy fighters train with. A spear does not need to be excessively complicated. If you don't mind lightweight and you're not going to be beating it up, use PVC. I have several PVC spear trainers that I use, and you can design your own heads, boffer style. Actually, okay, let me pull this back up because I'm prattling for a bit. No, don't remove me. Okay. The basics of making plastidip style weapons are, which are sort of an advanced form of boffer. You basically need a few parts. Oh, yeah, a waxwood spear trainer is a wonderful thing. They are gorgeous. And you probably should look at a site like martialartsmart.com. They have some amazing things. I'll always troll through Amazon, but finding fight grade compatible long poles is surprisingly challenging. But I would say going with a PVC trainer, unless you can get a fiberglass pole, that's better. And then basically cutting out, get a camp pad is what they call it. It's closed cell pad. It's usually blue. I have some somewhere, but I had a stuff slide, so I'm not sure where it is right now. But when you want to make a flat profile trainer, not a round profile, because if you want a round profile, that's easy. You just get some PVC, some pool noodle, pop it at the end of PVC. When you get to where if you want a striking blade, when you get to needing a head, you just cut this way, sandwich it, and layer it a couple times under duct tape. You'll have a fully functional spear boffer. Not bad, but okay. So you're looking for a specific spear head. And of course, he wants a pretty. I understand that. I respect that. We all want pretties, but it may be a case of you may have to manufacture it yourself, and there are ways to do that. Actually, yes. Come to think of it, quite a while ago, before the pandemic times, we had something called the Honed in HDPE contest, where everybody was supposed to use the same HDPE large size cutting board and make different trainers out of it, because it's very similar to the plastics that the Vietnamese company used, very similar to the plastics that some of the high-end companies use. It's just a little bit thinner, so you have to be a little more general with it. But you theoretically, what you would need to do that would be to make a stencil or draw directly on the stuff, the shape of what you want, which I assume is one of those crescent-ended, it looks like a halberd, spearheads, which is really great because that style can catch shields and do some really shady things. I see why you'd be interested. Out of that, get a chunk of probably aluminum pipe and cut wide enough that you can slide the blade and the guard, put a tang on the blade into this chunk of pipe. You're going to have to drill through and attach screws, run bolts, nuts and bolts, or really long rivets and attach that to the blade. And then you'd have to have enough of the pipe sticking down to slide it over any standard hardwood staff, an oak staff, etc. It and then just attach it as per like you would put a shovel head on, and it'd go fine for you. I can talk you through better with visual aids. So I started to say, well, I need visual aids. No, I don't. I have visual aids. Now, it's really weird that I'm bringing this up here, but let me grab a page. And yeah, we'll just keep this screen. Actually, no, we won't. No, we won't. We will be smarter than this. We'll go here, and we will go here, so I have more room to play with on screen. Okay, we'll worry about that. And I will just go boom. So let's talk about how to make what Thesis wants. Oh, and please sub to Adam Kember. Okay. Let's see who said. Please send that to me because I actually can't get to the links that come up through StreamYard. But this is going to be really fast and kind of loose. So let's go. Actually, no, I don't want that. I want that, and I want because I don't need. Yeah, that'll do. So we're going to say that Thesis basically wants an axe head, and not axe head, a spearhead, but you know what I mean. That looks something. Now my proportions are off, and I am just spitballing the design. So bear with me for any errors I make, and it would be longer than that, so the point goes farther. And we'll just do this, and we will fill it real quick. Nope, did not work. I left gaps. Anyway, and then you've got your little C shape. So instead, we'll do that. Okay, so you've got your spearhead. This is not pretty because I'm doing it fast, but it's not bad. This is cut out of HDPE. Bam, right? You cut that out, and then oops, I'm wrong chat. I'm in Bancrofts too. Oh, okay. Thank you. To be split between me and Bancroft, that's a fairly sizable honor. Anyway, so you have that. You have a chunk of pipe, probably aluminum, that this is going to go into. So let's make this three-dimensional real quick. It'll just make it a little easier on everybody. It's going to slide in. You have your holes. You have your however you're holding it in. Nut, Chicago screw, whatever. And you have two more holes. Two more nuts or Chicago screws. And then a hard there. Let's see. I'm running out of room, so I'm just going to say alum pipe so it doesn't rust. And then the pole, hard wood. I don't think rattan would hold up to the mounting process real well. I'd have to check. Rattan? Possibly? And I could do that. And that's as long as you want it, you know. And then it all slides together so that you have, I'll just put it here. Four screws. Now this is, if I were doing this, this is basically how I do it. Okay? I know it's crude, but I think, oh, Chicago screw. That reminds me I'm low on ammo. A Chicago screw, there's another term for it, but I can't remember the proper term, is a two-part fastener that looks like a bolt and then a collared threaded nut with a similar head to the bolt. And that gives you a nice flat profile on either side of materials. I use a lot of them in leatherworking when I need something to hinge a little bit. When you want to be able to take something apart, so you don't want to permanently rivet it. But that's what a Chicago screw is. Oh, tunnel screw. Okay, I've heard that term from it, just slipped off my head. But and growing up near Chicago, that might be part of why I know it. But there you go. That also is it's very reinforced against this kind of bending energy. It's a lot sturdier because much more of the thread is joined in the bind. So this kind of flex, it's really good against, which is really nice in something like a spearhead. So I'll just save as spear. And there we go. Again, sorry, it was just quick whiteboardy drawings, but I think that should help Thesis get an idea of how to do it himself if the means don't seem to be available. The only tools you would really need to pull this off is either something like a jigsaw, or you could do it with a hacksaw if you're relatively good with one. I would say a power drill, and that would be all you would need tool wise. Part wise, it's a chunk of pipe, and then your fasteners, and then your hardwood dowel. I would probably go 1.25 1.5 inches, maybe, to have it thick enough. You also have large hands, so as to be comfortable for you. That could be a little pricey, but it's also something you can find in odd places. And of course, theoretically, you could do something like this with just a aluminum chunk of pipe or black steel pipe, but that'd be a huge amount of weight. But as you can see, if you can't find the gear you want, guys, we should be able to make it. And yes, I know one of the books I have to do in the near future is, the Nick Tuckert Guide to Crafting Your Own Gear. And yeah, you know what? I agree. I agree. I'd add advice to it as well. Just because you are drilling into round stock, but other than that, yeah, I think that'd be the way I'd make a pole arm trainer, which now I am thoroughly tempted to do, because my wife loves those. We'll see. And Foxy says, I can get him walnut for free. Oh, awesome. Maybe iron. And same. But I want you guys to keep flexible minds, not just about your training, but what you train with. I won't have time for that because we are setting for the convention and running a convention and our massive booth and several other things. I don't think I could do that in 2 weeks, but we'll see. I've made her other such things, but we will see. It's not a bad idea. Huh. Well, and see, her birthday's at the end of March. So, yes, we could. That might rattle down even better because I don't really need to put a lot more on my palette today. I've got enough irons in the fire. But I'm hoping this at least was entertaining and educational for you guys. Now, I do want to remind you, this is the time of year. Start doing your exercises if you haven't been. Start stretching if you haven't been. Start putting in the work to get yourself back in shape, even if you're not doing martial arts, because as the weather starts to lift and as my net starts to die, we will be going out more and more, and we'll be doing more, and I want you to do it safely. Safe recovery is so important. But with that, yeah, I understand that. But with that, guys, I've gone well over my hour. I need to drink a whole lot because I'm quite dehydrated, and honestly, I could use some blood sugar. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, guys, please, thank you for a lovely chat. Please do your drills. Keep your eyes open. Be kind to yourself and each other. And as always, friends, thank you for supporting your local swordmaster. I will see you all next week for another episode of the Historical Fencing Guild live stream. I will also be on the my other channel, the at Nicholas Talker, where I'll be doing three shows a week minimum, talking about books and promoting people. Thank you. And you guys have a great night. I'll hope to see you real soon. And it's my pleasure. It really is. Thank you, guys.